I prefer that my beer have the better taste is not the first sip, is the last one, and you just want to order the same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All Beer Inside. Today we are in the Saint-Jacques region of Quebec. Joining me today is Pierre-Luc and David from L'Apothicaire.
Hi.
Hey. Hi.
Thank you very much for hosting us today, especially everything that's going on in the world, taking time out of your schedule to speak with us about your brewery, your beers, and everything that you love about the craft beer industry, taking your time out of your schedule to speak with us. Always appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thanks to have invited us.
Yeah. So you gave me a beer here to try. To start with, what am I drinking?
You're drinking the Christmas beer. It's actually a dark, strong Belgian ale. And we added in it some of our cherries that we grow on our little farm.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. It smells beautiful. What's the alcohol percentage on this?
It's about 7.5.
Yep.
All right, as we do on the show, a toast.
Yes.
Perfect.
Cheers.
It's the best meat with the black chocolate and the cherry, and it's not sweet.
Yeah, usually Christmas beers is like sweet and spicy and all this. It's not anywhere near that.
Not too spicy. The spicy taste you have really comes from the yeast fermentation. Mm-hmm. We do not add any at all in it.
Yeah, no, this is spectacular, and I've had your beers before from my local IGA, so it's nice to actually finally come here, see your beautiful location, and drink beers with you guys today. So
yeah, cool,
awesome. So what's the beer story? What brought you two together? Creation of L'Apothicaire? Like, what's the story?
Well, we were working together, me and Pierre-Luc, at Albion at first. I was a brewer there, and he was a server. But before that, he was working at Offenstadt.
Yeah, in Assomption. I was a brewer there, like 4 years. And after I met David at the Albion, so make a couple of years. So.
Yeah, from that we wanted to start our own brewery, make our own recipe, and from that we start the project.
Yeah, L'Apothicaire garage first.
Oh yeah.
A lot of tests into my garage. My home, 2 years of brewing, one batch by week, and this is how we develop our beer and find the taste of the yeast that we want to use repeatedly. Mm-hmm. A lot of this is the Trappist Belgian ale that you have in the wheat beer, blonde, like pale ale too, porter. So we want to find the good strain to have the tasting note that we want. So.
You seem a lot more Belgian inspired than most breweries. I know Quebec originally was like Belgian heavy across the province, and now it's kind of like it's more of a niche thing right now. What made you decide to go with Belgian and not the IPA craze, or just make pastry stouts and stuff like that?
Well, when we were going to the convenience store, we find that there was a lack of these styles. And mostly the malt kind. There's a lot of IPAs, there's a lot of smoothie beer, which is okay, but for us, we felt that there was missing something. And that's where the idea came from.
Yeah, we want to drink other beers that like it was present into the wall beer in the store, and we were not satisfied. Mm-hmm. So we decided to do it and to give it to people who we think they like our kind of style, traditional style, more malt than hops. Even.
Yeah. So beer that are a high drinkability. We do not do hype beer, no caricature too. They are all balanced beer. As you can see in the Christmas beer, it's not too sugary, it's not too strong either. You can taste the cherries, but it's not the cherry juice. So that's it.
Yeah, very cool. So the name of L'Apothicaire, is that translated into English to apothecary, from what I understand. What made you decide the name L'Apothicaire? Like, where's that history from?
Well, it came from a work with our other partner.
Like a brainstorm.
Yeah.
But I always loved the name of L'Apothicaire, and the grandfather of my girlfriend. He was an apothecary. Like this is on the wall. Yeah. You can see it, but this is a true diploma. Diploma. It's a true diploma from the early 90s. So
super cool.
So I love the word, and we were literature guys, so we read a lot, and this is how it came.
We like the all the ideas that came around it, and the folklore around it, and just the image that you were a guy who you took stuff from the nature and brew an elixir or something that will help you to go on your day. We kind of like that image.
Very cool. No, that's awesome, and it does kind of fit too with like brewing, and I've said it, and I'm a broken record when I say it, but beer is art and science put together.
Yeah, totally.
That's what's great about it.
It's a mix of chemistry and plain cookery.
Yeah, like beer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a great name, and it's a perfect story. Now, you guys are a very neat location. It feels very niche here. What made you decide the location that you're in?
Well, we live around here, and I grew around here in a small village nearby. And I always wanted to do something in these parts, It's also, this is a small community, but it's growing, and a lot of people from Montreal move from there to here, and they need something like that. They're used to have the microbreweries, and we can offer that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it really started because of Instagram, but Paul with the Lanaudière, it's the fact that you guys are all working together is great, because like there's you guys in the Lanaudière, there's the Canton de l'Est, when I can't remember, Knowlton Co, like he's trying to get them all together so that you guys are always like, well, yeah, let's support each other. We're a business, we got to keep each other alive, especially now with the world being shut down again. I find people are supporting local more than ever. Yeah.
It's actually, it's funny you said that, because we never expected to open during COVID.
Yeah.
But it happens, and we cannot say if it was actually bad for us or good. We'll never know. But it's there's so many people that they weren't drinker, microbrewery drinker. But ils sont devenus,
yeah.
They became because of they wanted to support their local breweries. They wanted to, and by that they discovered that they like craft beer.
Yeah, no, that was early on in the pandemic. I'm like, look, the breweries are still open, and you might not drink beer, but somebody in your life drinks beer, and maybe somebody in your life wants to drink good beer. And even if they don't drink beer, breweries have beautiful merchandise. They got hats, they got shirts, they got hoodies. Buy a gift card for somebody. It's so easy to support local. It's not even funny. And the fact that people are like, oh, I'll never buy from Amazon again. It's like, okay, well, you're saying that. I'm going to be a realist. I'm going to have to buy stuff on Amazon, but a majority of my paychecks come to local.
Yeah.
And so that's where I see it is. I get to thankfully have your beers at my local beer stores in my area that I'd have to wait outside early on in the pandemic because it's small, so it was one person in the store at a time. Whereas now I can actually, well, not right now because it's back to reduced capacity, but still I could grab from you guys, I could grab from Alchemist, I could grab from Knowlton Co, I could grab from, not Kanawaki unfortunately, but La Brosse, and just buy 5-6 beers and that's it. So.
Yeah. You don't have to till you say you're buying sometime on Amazon. Mm-hmm. It's okay. You don't have to buy always 100% local, but every bit you do, it works. It's
So you guys also opened during the pandemic. Yeah, it's wild because I think we're at the point where we've interviewed just as many people who have opened during the pandemic that have like been open for years before. So it's pretty crazy.
We didn't have the choice. We were too engaged into it. So let's go and.
It must be frustrating too because you have a beautiful tap room and it's obviously small, and with the restrictions you can't have more than 10 people at one point, except for when the summer when the patios are open or terraces. That must have been a little bit of a blow to your ego, where like we're ready to go and now we can't.
Well, it's sure it's a little bit frustrating, but it's okay. You know, when we were able to be open to the public, it was just cool and cozy, and you know, our main business is to distribute beer in cans. So we were not that much affected. We were, but it was okay.
When stuff started reopening, how did you feel the flow of people coming in that you never thought you'd see here, and then all of a sudden it's...
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then speaking of that, obviously, in a smaller area, people will have drank mostly macros, Labatt's Molsons. Do you have ever somebody who comes in and he's like, oh, I just drank Labatt 50. What can I drink here? Like, what's that gateway beer?
It happens actually, not all the time, but often. We live in the a very agricultural rural area, and most of our clients are big brewery drinker, but
we have some beer that people who loves Molson Labatt who can taste the Světlý Ležák. This is a Pilsner Czech. So we had an offer, and fortunately, when they drink it, they are surprised and they continue to drink it. And okay, it's my beer, so we can make the link with the people who drink always commercial beers.
It's so surprising to see the farmer come here and just he tastes the beer, look at us, and am I crazy? It tastes grain. It is. And you take him and you show him the malt, and he's like, wow, he's mind blown.
No, it's super cool, and I love this kind of stuff. We've interviewed a home brewer before, and he's like, oh yeah, my malts. And now you guys obviously have a much more control system. He's in his garage, so it's like, oh well, I have to put him in these big buckets so mice don't eat my grains. And then it's all like local Canadian malt bill that he uses, and obviously hops everybody's getting from Yakima and all those guys, but they're still local businesses, and that's the important part. And you said, you know, farmer down the street comes here, drinks your pills, and he's like, oh my God, this is what beer's supposed to take like.
Yeah. So. And eventually he drinks other beer too. Is what is a Dubel? All right, I'm gonna take it, and is now hooked for life.
Yeah, it's easy to convert the people who are willing to expand their palates, expand their minds, and obviously, time and time again, support a local business. So.
There's a whole new world for them into this kind of beer. You know, it's normal that the first time you have a sour beer, you're like, "What the hell is this?" But actually, it's quite refreshing in the summer.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You know, during the summer, I find one of the best beers I could have is a Goza. It's like that salty, sweet, sour that I want. That's super refreshing during the summer.
Yeah, so. It's super thirst quenching.
Yeah.
The taste it's crazy. It's always in the evolution too. You don't love a beer this year, and in 3 years this is your favorite beer of all the time. So you have to let the people the time to absorb the information too.
Yeah.
So it's a long work for.
No, it's fantastic, and it's, you know, I love how everybody supports each other. And speaking of Lanaudière, it's like, you guys are there to support each other. I'm sure if you're out of, let's say, Crystal Malts, but Albion has it, you guys just exchange and, just keep these hops handy in case I need them. So that's, you know, being a small, tight-knit community at the same time where you are pretty spread apart. Like if I want to go from here to Albion, it's a half-hour drive or so. But still, it's there. It's another brewery in the area for me to try. And
we're not in competition. We're stronger together because the person who's from Montreal came in Lanaudière. He have a lot of choice, and why he could go on to get snow. He could go to Canton Lest. No, he came from Eco to Lanaudière because he can go at 3, 4, 5 breweries maybe. So it's better like that.
Yeah. Plus, for a beer drinker like myself, a good kind of middle stop is if I'm going to do a weekend in Quebec City, I could stop at a brewery in the Lanaudière first, and then make my way to Quebec City for all that other touristy stuff, as I like to say. Even though Quebec City is super close to Montreal, I've only been 3-4 times in my life.
It's close, but it's far.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 hours in that direction. If you go on the other way, we can go now, but you can go to the American state. You can go to Vermont. You can. So it's close, but it's far.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you guys are also, like, when you think about it, anybody who's heading up to the Gaspésie from Montreal, the highway's on the way. That's it. So it's the Lanaudière and the Canton Lest are both kind of in that middle of if Montrealers or people from Toronto want to go to the Maritimes, you have all this area of Quebec to try. So
yeah, Lanaudière have something to offer, like in Gaspésie. There's a lot of brewery there, but right now we are like 14.
Yeah.
So if people came from everywhere, they can go and taste a lot of beer into our region. So.
What are some friends in the area that you highly suggest, hey, go drink some beers at our friends before you go home?
Often I'll say Maelstrom, Albion obviously, for you.
This is the fermentor and our friend from Ryan from McKellen Brewery. He's doing his own ingredient. He had a farm, so you can use like honey and malt and stuff like this. Go to see there. They are friends, and we want them to continue to live, and let's go.
Have you guys ever thought about having a food program in here? I know you guys are a little small and you have a restaurant next door, but do you work with the restaurant to bring food over? Do you allow food from outside to come in?
We allow food from outside to come in.
Okay.
We're not interested in developing a food section. Our focus is mainly brew beer. That's what we want.
Stay concentrate on beer. This is the first thing that you have to see when you enter this, and sometimes it's a bit hide behind the food, I think, in my opinion, and to our breweries, but we give the place to the beer here. If you came for other things, you will be disappointed.
It's also a whole other level of business, the restaurant. It's a big adventure. It's really tough. It's a lot of work for less money, and we're kind of really now we focus our main goal on beer.
Yeah, I mean, I know in Quebec, I'm pretty sure the rest of Canada too, but I know specifically in Quebec, it's a whole other license you got to go through. It's a whole other, red tape thing. And speaking of like red tape and roadblocks and stuff, what were some? Obviously, the pandemic, before the pandemic, what were some problems of having L'Apothicaire as a brand and creating what you did?
No, we have a lot of breaks before we could start, like the construction and when
the money,
we have a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of long processes to arrive, and we were minded. Everything that happened, but the pandemic.
It was
nobody knows that it was how it will be, but we were supposed to receive our dirty pigeon equipment to brew. There is a lapse of time. They didn't have the iron to do their job. So it's okay. We are all in the same ship, so there's no problem. So it was long, it was hard, and for the mind, but we were not discouraged. We couldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean, just the money alone, from what I've heard, is like, if you give up halfway through, you're pretty much going to declare bankruptcy. Like, what's the point? Just push through, and hopefully the town accepts you guys, and people start drinking your beers. So, Was the town of Saint-Jacques very open to like, yes, we need a brewery here?
Totally. We tried before here at in Saint-Jacques. This is where I live, and we have the small farm. And but they weren't open at all. But Saint-Jacques here, they were like opening us the arm wide open. Yeah. And we knew that there was a distillery coming here. Mm-hmm. So and the next to it there was an open space. So we saw the opportunity right away, and here we are on a location on a rent.
Yeah.
But the owner of the building saw an opportunity too, because of the distillery and us. So we made a restaurant, the neighbor. So so it's great. It's like a really great synergy.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pierre-Luc had even mentioned before we started recording today that the restaurant next door, they're selling your beer better than the macros. Yeah. So that's amazing. I love hearing that. So, and then the distillery as well. I'm sure that's pretty cool. Is people are like, oh, I'll go to the distillery, try. I'm guessing probably gin.
Yeah, they're new, but they want to go right away, maybe on whiskey. Yeah. Because they're producing their own grains, their own malt, and that's it. They're really well equipped for that. So
they do gin, vodka, and after it came probably the whiskey. So.
Yeah, I know gin in Quebec is extremely popular. Distilling gin in Quebec is extremely popular because I've looked as a show we're trying to diversify, just like you guys do with obviously your beers. Is we want to start. We've interviewed a cidery. We want to interview a distillery. So, and in Quebec, Ontario, pretty much like this entire northeast section of Canada and the U.S., there's so much opportunity for people who enjoy craft beverages and want to support local businesses. There's more than enough. So, you mentioned Vermont. It's like 70 breweries for one of the smallest states in the U.S. It's crazy. So
and they all live because people support all of them. So.
Yeah. It's also your size. Like us, we are a small brewery, and yes, we'll grow a little bit, but we're basically paying us some jobs. Like we don't want to get a lot bigger. We just when we sell and distribute in our community and area, Montreal, we're well filled. It's okay, it's all right, and it's perfect like that. You're not stepping on anyone's toe. Yeah. Everybody can have their small brewery, and everybody will well live about it. Mm-hmm. It's like you can have as many restaurants, as many brewery you want. Everybody brew à leur goût, tu sais.
Mm-hmm. So Pierre-Luc, you brought me out 2 more beers here to try. Which one is this one? What's the blonde?
Světlý Ležák.
Okay.
It's a Pilsner Czech, so it's like 5%, really malty, with Saz hops. We are brewing with leaf hops, so it's like in the texture, it's easier to taste. You've got more pleasure to taste it when it's leaf hops than les granules.
The pellets.
Les pellets.
It's cleaner.
It's less harsh than. So this is why we are using leaf. So.
Awesome.
The leaves in the kettle.
Toast.
Cheers.
Ooh, yeah, that is something I love.
And this is what we love. It is to you taste it, you put your glass on, and you want another slip of that. Yeah. You want another slip,
Yeah, no, this is something I could see myself, like, out with the guys and just chilling on a terrace. This is something where I could have a couple of these, no problem. Not too heavy, not too, doesn't wreck my palate anyway.
No.
This is something that I personally, like, I love lagers and pilsners, especially when they're really well balanced. It's not something rushed out, and that's why for myself it's very difficult to drink a macro beer now because I can just taste the preservatives. Whereas there's none in this. The preservative is the hop. That's it. So
Exactly.
it's This is one of these beers that I could see myself drinking a bunch of, no problem. Don't drive, but drink a bunch of them. So.
And this is what we want to drink too. So
Yeah. All our beer have this kind of profile where the balance is I guess good,
Yeah.
and I prefer that my beer have the better taste is not the first sip, is the last one, and you just want to order the same thing. You don't. Sometimes, like in the IPAs, it's so intense, but it smells great. The bouquet is awesome.
Yeah.
The first taste is awesome, but after 3, 4, it's beginning to get really hard.
the mouth is saturated. You
Yeah.
have too much flavor. So.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, a lot of places when the New England styles are like 8% beers and above, so it's 2, 3, and then you're done for the night.
Yeah.
So,
But they're good. The tastes are good.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't know. We like to drink 2 beers, maybe 3.
yeah. Awesome. And then I have another beer here. So what's that one?
Was it?
It's the Oyster Stout. So it's a classic recipe from Ireland, stolen to the English. You have a classic oatmeal stout, and we had some oyster in it, like at the end of the boil. And there you go. You have a 4.5 alcohol stout. It's not too rich. What the oyster brings in the beer is a mouthfeel at the end of your sip. It's not sugary.
Yeah.
It's more iodé salin.
Okay.
But it's as I said, it's not too much.
Perfect. All right, gentlemen. A toast.
Toast.
I don't want to spill it, so let's do that.
Yeah. Small glasses.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit cold right now, but when it's getting warmer, it's how the aroma are developing. But you can taste it right now. But
Yeah, I have found that too, with especially when you mentioned like the Dubel earlier, is like just let it warm up a bit.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. The wildness of beer is, when you're being brainwashed by the mass beer companies that beer has to be super cold and it has to freeze your brain, and then
No aftertaste.
yeah,
it tastes nothing.
yeah, and then it's like
No after, no before.
it's like, oh, it should be close to ice and the mountains should be frozen, and now it's like, no, beers can warm up and be delicious.
Yeah.
It's Nickelbrook out of Ontario, I feel, does it best because they've been doing it every year for, I think it's something like 10 years, but they do a series where it's 3 different barrel-aged beers, and you let it warm up, and one presents more wine, one presents more coffee, one presents more whiskey, and you're just like, where was this my entire life when I was obviously brainwashed by ads to like beer has to be cold and has to be drank as fast as possible.
I don't know if you remember when they get it was a special can that you could shotgun it.
Yeah.
With the hole and everything.
You can shotgun your beer.
Yeah.
Maybe on the other cans we should. Yeah. Maybe.
It's rare. I will still drink a macro on occasion, but if I'm at the Montreal Canadiens game or the Alouettes, or like that's another thing about supporting local. Go to your local sports team. I would go see the Laval Rockets, no problem. So it's another thing, and unfortunately, they just have macro there. It's not an option where American stadiums have a lot of craft beer.
Yep.
I
And
bet.
that's where I get jealous living in
Boston.
I know Quebec. I don't know about Ontario. I've heard that the Ottawa Senators do have craft beer now.
Okay.
So as a Montrealer, that's great for me because Ottawa's only 2 hours away. And it's a lot cheaper to watch the Montreal Canadiens play Ottawa than it is to watch the Montreal Canadiens play at home. So it's, and you mentioned Boston. I was in Cleveland, craft beer everywhere, even their football stadium. There's craft beer from Texas in Cleveland. So it's crazy, and,
It's
and
awesome.
that's one thing that I'm disappointed about in Canada in general is you guys can't get your beer in Alberta, but I can't get beer from Alberta here.
Yep.
If you ever thought that was an option where Canada opens the beer borders, could you see yourself shipping beer across Canada?
There was someone in British Columbia that already spoke to us. He wanted our beer, but he wasn't aware of all the laws.
Yeah.
But I bet British Columbia.
We have a small production right now,
Yeah.
maybe later, but we are focused more on local market right now. But if there are lover brewers from Canada who want our beer, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
The cans, the labeling, the names, who creates that? What made you guys decide that? I see a date on the side. What made you guys decide to date your beers as well?
It's a team effort for the labeling and everything. It came to birth. No, not birth. It came to this idea when we were brainstorming about L'Apothicaire, about what we love. We're gamers. We're metalhead. We're a big fan of horror movies, books too. A lot of Lovecraft, obviously. We also wanted not to name our beer. They're all sold by the brewery name, and after you have they're sold by style.
We are 3 owners, and we want this, but we have friends in common, Philippe Roy, who he takes all our idea and put it in one. He showed us une suggestion, a suggestion with 2 others, but when he put this on the table, we were like, oh yeah,
That was it. Yeah.
that was it.
The fact that it was like a newspaper. You have the primary page is like our pub, our publicity. The next one on the left, it's a true. There are true old publicity that there are without rights, so we can use them.
Yeah.
And on the right side, you have a fake news that involves a local municipality from here. And we had a little touch, L'Apothicaire touch on it. It's we have a lot of fun writing these crazy stories.
And it was important that it was not too flashy, too like more classic impression.
Yeah.
Like if you want to buy a beer, it's a beer, but sometimes you don't know if it's a Monster or Energic beverage. So this is why it came in a form like this.
Very cool. Now, I see on the side of your beer fridge you have one of the Brutal North America or from Vox and Hops, one of the combinations. Did you guys collab with Vox and Hops?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so, speaking of that, like other collabs you've done and collabs you'd love to do no matter where they are?
We've done a collab that it's not out yet, but it's with the Vice Versa, the bar in Montreal. We're actually planning a collab with Ryan from Macallan Brewery. Okay. Maybe one with the Malmstrom. And if we had to make a collab with someone, I don't know. I don't know who I will say in the entire world. It's a big question.
Anybody that obviously in the Lanaudière, not far from the Vermont border, anybody in Vermont you'd like to brew with?
Yeah. Anybody? You have buddies in Vermont.
Yeah, I have buddies. Vermont Pub and Brewery.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, they're one of the originals too, so it's up there.
It's like if I have to brew beer, if I have to choose, it must be Côte Mave from the Republic Czech.
Okay.
Learning more about lager, it's a well without you can learn more and more into that style. So like in Germany too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brewery there, so like.
I would want to brew with every kind of school of brewery.
Yeah. So go to a monastery in Belgium and brew with those guys.
To see Belgian beer brewed by Belgian guys, to see English beers brewed by English guys, it will be incredible.
I mean, there's so many styles too. You could, go to like South Africa and see how they do there, or go to Egypt and watch a gruit, like a real gruit beer being made. There's so many options there. So.
There's also, like you said, there's new option like in Mexico right now. Mexico City, it's like a big. The craft brewery scene is really evolving.
Yeah. So speaking of that, kind of like when it comes to collabs and beercations, obviously when it's a lot safer to travel, and you guys are incredibly busy, I'm sure. So when you actually have time to take a beer vacation, what's that beercation you haven't been on yet that's on the bucket list?
There's so many, but I will say you went to Republic Czech, but I haven't, and I think that will be my first stop.
Yeah.
After that, Germany, I guess.
Pierre-Luc?
They are near Germany first, because I don't know a lot of their style. We have example here in Quebec, but it's the idea from the breweries, but really on the place, Germany and Belgium too. This is what we are doing. So if we can do some kind of cantillon or tilquin, this is what we had a couple of fruit on the chez David, at David's home, and I'd like to do fruit beer and sour style like this in the future. So.
Very cool. Awesome. So what's next for L'Apothicaire as a brand? Obviously, I'm sure when things reopen again, a full tap house. But besides that, where do you guys see yourselves going as a brand?
Basically, keep growing. We only have 1 year and a half of life. So keep growing the same way as we are, steadily but surely, and it's pretty much about it. We don't have the ambition to be an empire.
But we have ambition to do the same kind of beer every time that we are doing our new batch, and keep the same way of thinking. This is the beer that go first, and we are all focused that we had to offer to public the taste of beer, and really give to them the taste of the fermentation of the grain. This is our mission. So we are just 1 year alive, but we are keep going onto this way. So I guess see where it will go.
Yeah, I guess the fact that since we wake in the morning to brew our beer, our goal is set. It's and after that it's only dessert. It's a surplus. So that's it. We're already where we want to be, and we just want to keep perfecting it.
Awesome. That's more than a great answer is just come here and drink our beers and please enjoy our beers, and that's it.
That's it. Exactly.
I look forward to your 2 anniversary when it comes up, and hopefully you can have a nice full tap room and use the guys' patios next door, and maybe build your own patio, more of your patio out front. Obviously, you could see you had a terrace, a little terrace, but maybe the gin guys will let you use their area as well or something. So
there's a lot of project in the talking, and it's been difficult with the COVID to mix things up and just to make some great parties, but it's in the process. We already made when we do the Oyster Stout, we make a oyster night.
Okay.
Where we with the restaurant we do a special occasion. We're drinking Oyster Stout while eating oyster. It's awesome.
That's great. No, it sounds like you guys are very ambitious, and I can hear the passion of the brewery behind both your voices. So that's the most important part is you're very passionate about what you're doing, and I can taste it in the product. So that's really what matters in the end.
Cool.
Thanks.
Awesome. I personally have no other questions. I really thank you both very much for having us speak with you today about your brewery and stuff. Just let my audience know where they can find you.
Well, you can find us at our Facebook and Instagram, and that's it.
And if somebody were in the area, what's your physical location?
Oh yeah, it's the 38 rue Marcel-Lépine in Saint-Jacques, Lanaudière.
Come to see us. We are doing the service too, so you can talk to the brewer. So
Yeah.
we are there. We work there.
We're always there.
Yeah, sounds like it. Awesome. So all that's going to be in the show notes. allbeerinside.com is the website. At allbeerinside on all social media. And as I say at the end of all episodes, drink craft, not crap.